What is up, marketing besties? We are kicking off a brand new mini-series called Go-to-Market Plays, where we break down one go-to-market move in under 10 minutes. Real tactics, zero fluff, just the kind of stuff you actually use to launch smarter, grow faster, and win your market. And joining me for this whole series is someone who lives and breathes go-to-market, Tamara. She's an award-winning product marketer, former VP of product marketing at Kajabi, and one of the sharpest minds in the game. Let's get into it. We are back with another episode of Go-to-Market Plays in 10 minutes or less. And today we're flipping the funnel upside down. We're not talking about how you can acquire new users, but we are talking about how you can win back the ones you've already lost. I'm talking about those churned customers, inactive users, or those people who are ghosting you. And to help us bring them back from the dead, we've got the legend, Tamara Grabinski. Tamara, tell us about what is a comeback campaign.
Okay. Thanks for having me again. And just really fun. And I would say often really super successful play because it's very overlooked by marketers, right? So as you mentioned, most of the time we're focused on the top of the funnel, right? On getting those net new leads and then converting those leads. But sometimes your best opportunities actually come from people who already know who you are. They've already used your product, and bonus points if they've even paid you before. And so the comeback campaign, as I'm calling it, is really your go-to-market play to re-engage, re-inspire, and reactivate those users before they disappear forever. And so at its core, a comeback campaign is really about one thing. It's about reminding people why they signed up in the first place, right? And what they're missing now. And so why I love this for this episode is you can run this in a variety of ways. This could be an email campaign. This could be in-app nudges. It could even be ads targeted to churned users. Or I've seen companies run all three in a coordinated motion, but you really can choose the channel of your choice. Regardless of channel, in order to work, it needs to be emotional, it needs to be relevant, and it needs to be frictionless for someone to return.
Yeah, and one of the things I used to do at the companies I've been at, especially for churn customers, is we used to have lost reason. And sometimes those lost reasons are things you can't control. Maybe budget got cut at that point in time. Maybe it was economical. Maybe it's product focused. But if you get those reasons, and collect those, you can find out what to do these comeback campaigns on. So I think one of the things that I've seen work very well is, especially for those churned customers, is have that. But I also love showing ex-subscribers, ex-customers, what they are missing out on. So do you have some real examples of companies who have done this well? What does a great comeback campaign look like to you?
Absolutely. And we're going to talk about those churn reasons later on too. But I've brought two examples with me today. I've got a B2B example and a B2C example. First, I brought an example from a company that I personally love, Brooklinen. So for those that don't know, Brooklinen is a direct-to-consumer company that sells bedding. I got all of my bed sheets from them. And they have a really fun play on the classic "we miss you" email. Absolutely, "we miss you" email is pretty well known in comeback campaigns. Lots of companies use it, but I find them to often be very generic. And so why I love Brooklinen, and I brought an example to actually show you, Daniel. I know we can't always show the audience, but what it says, I'll read it out to you, is it says, "We miss you." So right to the point. But then it goes, "So we took a little break. No big deal. Let's put it behind us." And then the CTA says, "Let's make up." I love it because it's fun, it's playful, it reflects their tone and voice, and it's really just quite simple to keep the company top of mind with past customers.
Yeah, I really love the one point you made also of tone of voice. I think if you're going to do win-back campaigns, this is also not a place to stop doing your branding and being on brand and being on tone of voice. I think people miss that they have to do the best practices here. And even though it's a best practice, you hear people say, do a win-back email, you have to do it in a way that feels on brand for your customer. And this one is just lighthearted. It's not a hard sell. They just trying to be cute with it. So I think it's just a gentle nudge, what I like about it.
Exactly. So now I brought a B2B example as well. And I think that Slack does a really great job with the comeback campaign. And so instead of email, which we looked at as the channel for Brooklinen, Slack actually does it in product, right? So if your workspace in Slack goes inactive, they'll nudge you with a few little things. So they'll say, looks like it's been a while. Do you need a fresh invite link? Or your team hasn't been active. Do you want to clean things up and relaunch the workspace? And so Slack is using something called momentum psychology to lower the barrier to reactivation. And Slack is free for most people, right? So it's not about asking them to purchase something again. It's about asking them to come back and engage again. And so with momentum psychology, it's not saying like, why did you leave? It's not trying to collect those churn reasons. It's just saying, do you want to pick this back up? Do you want to come hang out again? And so it's a nice, again, just like Brooklinen, like gentle invitation to come back.
I like both these examples are low friction, low barrier. They also very gentle. They're not hard sell. They're not pushy. They're not trying to sell you, but at the same time, they're both on brand for both these brands. But I want to start like, let's say someone wants to run their own comeback campaign. I know Brooklinen did a good job. Slack did a good job, but where should people who are listening start?
This is a great question. We want to make this as actionable as possible. And so what you want to do is you want to anchor your message in something meaningful, something that gives the user context, relevance, and most importantly, a reason to act. And so I've brought 3 smart anchors that they could build around. The first one is an incentive or a special offer. Sometimes people just need a nudge or a limited time offer or a reason to re-engage. And so this could be anything like a discount on a paid plan. It could be a free bonus if they come back, or even early access to something new that might be coming around the corner. And again, now you're not bribing them. You're just reducing the risk of them coming back. And to go back to that Brooklinen email, I loved the Brooklinen email. It was really fun and playful, but it could have been even stronger if they'd also offered me maybe 10% off my next order, giving me that specific reason to act now. The second anchor you could use is a timely occasion or moment, right? So you can use the natural momentum in the calendar or in the business to kind of re-spark interest. And this could be something that's happening in your business or in the business of your customers. So this could be, hey, it's New Year's, or it's back to school, or it's a holiday like Black Friday, or even like your customer's birthday, right? It gives you a why now moment that helps the comeback campaign feel less random. And then finally, and I love this one because we hinted at the very beginning, a new feature or a big update. So if your product has changed since the customer left, you can highlight what's new. And I always like to say, here's what's new, but also here's why it matters to you. And that's where if you have this churn feedback or cancellation feedback, you can really make it relevant. So if we know that they left because of a missing product functionality, or maybe Daniel, to your point, they left because of price, and now you're introducing a lower price plan, is a perfect reason to reach back out to that customer and to try to get them to come back.
One last thing I will add is a lot of like comeback campaigns are not only if someone has ghosted, they could also be used. For example, Uber does this really well as if you like cut out the app and you were about to take a ride, they will push you back in the app, and they know they're going to lose you for that ride. So they rather offer you like a cheaper price at that time. So that's another thing. Also, win back for email is a great, for say your subscriber list newsletters is a great way to do that too, because you also want to know who on your list is not engaged or not. And even if they reapply, they re-engage and unsubscribe, or they re-engage and you get a small amount coming back, you want to know who's not, because you want to start focusing your messaging and your email deliverability and all that stuff to people who actually matter. So win back is also really great for if you have a newsletter or an email list that people aren't engaging. But I know Tamara went deep in what a comeback campaign is, and that hopefully we got this under 10 minutes. Remember three things: lead with emotion, anchor your message in something real, and make coming back feel like the easiest decision they'll ever make. You don't need to win over strangers. You just need to re-win people who already said yes in the past. So thank you, Tamara, again, for coming on the episode. Thank you for everybody listening. And we'll be back next week with another Go-to-Market Place.
Thanks so much for listening. Keep tuning in to hear more great insights from the coolest marketers from around the world. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe and follow the Marketing Millennials podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, or wherever you get your podcasts. And if you like what you hear, I would greatly appreciate you giving us a 5-star rating. It helps bring more marketers into our community.